What is interdisciplinary research? I think there are two questions. One is about process and one is about outcome. In terms of process, American psychologist William James said in 1890, "My experience is what I agree to attend to." I think the same is true of our research. What we attend to and how we attend to it shapes our research and is shaped by our discipline. So interdisciplinary research involves us broadening out the kinds of questions that we attend to. In terms of outcome, I think it's a little bit like a rope. We talk about strands, and indeed each of our research is our own research expertise strand, but when we weave these together, they make something richer and stronger.
The Moss Worlds project is a project about looking at the relationship of Greater Manchester with mosses, both historically, in the contemporary period, and in the future, and really looking at that from a range of perspectives across disciplines. So we bring together researchers in the social sciences, humanities, earth sciences, so across schools and faculties, as well as staff at our cultural and research institutions such as Manchester Museum and the Firs Botanical Grounds. And we bring together staff from a range of career stages, from early career researchers all the way up to professors. And we've also brought in independent artists working in different media, as well as an independent poet, to really look at this problem from as many perspectives as possible.
Moss Worlds is a project that's an example of interdisciplinary research in that it brings together researchers with expertise in a whole range of areas across the arts and sciences to think about the question of moss. And we've started particularly on this project with moss in Manchester. What is the history of moss and the interaction of moss with people, and how might our thinking about that inform some of the responses that we make to moss and to climate crisis and sustainability in the present? So that ranges from Emma Shuttleworth thinking about sphagnum moss and its capacities for flood management, to Henry Macpherson thinking about music scores and moss scores and how we might respond to moss musically.
Creative Manchester was absolutely fundamental to this project getting off the ground. We felt that Creative Manchester gave us the trust that the arts and the humanities could lead on a project that might on the surface look like a more scientific or biological project. So the fact that they were able to support us in that meant that we could show that arts-based practices and methodologies were good as research methods in combination with the sciences.
My experience working on the Moss Worlds Interdisciplinary project has really been an eye-opener for me to see the amazing work that colleagues are doing in other disciplines and other fields, as well as to understand the amazing resources we have here at Manchester in our cultural institutions such as the museum or the Firs Botanical Grounds.
So my own experience of the project has been that it's forced me to bring the kinds of attention I bring to my own discipline of literary study, literary and cultural study really, to bear in different ways. Taking moss envelopes in the Manchester Museum, where scientists have written on them the names of mosses, I've been able to bring to that understanding of Linnaean nomenclature, which I didn't have before, and a sense of the ways in which these mosses are working in their own landscape, which has enriched my own thinking about the forms of language used and the sort of bits of paper on which these things are written.
So my experience of working on this project has been incredibly powerful in many ways. But I say, on the one hand, it was powerful in that I saw the potential of interdisciplinary work in its full capacity. I saw questions and answers that I had never anticipated. I found things that I wasn't looking for. On the other hand, it also made me aware of some of the challenges of interdisciplinary research and how not everything can be translated, and therefore the value of bringing different disciplinary expertise to a shared question.